Oh, oh,
Yawn. So when you want to yawn, how do you stop it? Do you know how to stop yourself so you yawn less? Do you know why people yawn?
no.
No? Hmm. Today should be an interesting one then. And then, so we're gonna learn what it is, and how it happens, and then we'll also try and figure out ways to stop it. How to stop it. That way, when somebody's telling you a story, when I was your age, blah blah blah, and children go, old people don't like children to yawn when the old people are telling them a story. So it's important to learn how do we stop this yawn. All right, so let's take a look at this reading here. For today, we're going to be doing the reading of How to Stop a Yawn. Yawn. This one is How to Stop a Yawn. See, notice how everybody's yawning. The man, the woman, the grandma, the baby, and the dog. Even the dog is yawning. Interesting. So there's a yawn. Now we gotta learn how to stop it. Let's try this one.
Here's an experiment to try. See if you can make your friends yawn by pretending to yawn. Just open your mouth really wide, stretch your arms, and inhale.
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 Pretending.
By pretending.
Yeah. So here's an experiment. What is an experiment?
An example.
An example. Well, it's more of a test. You do a test just to see what will happen. So when you're trying something to see what the answer is going to be or what the result will be, that's called an experiment. Scientists usually experiment, trying things out. It's always important. Kids do this too. Children are always experimenting to see what will happen if I touch the hot water, or something silly like that. When you have the electric plug where you plug in your computer, what happens if I put my finger in it? Don't do that. No. So these are the certain experiments you never want to try, like that one. And then there are certain things that children like to try. What happens if I yell at my mother? Don't do that. Don't do that either. So let's try this experiment. See if you can make your friends yawn. How do you make your friends yawn? You want to make your friends go, ooh. And how you make them yawn is by pretending to yawn. When you pretend to yawn, it means you yawn, but as a fake way. So you're just opening your mouth, really wide, stretch your arms, and inhale. So that's what it looks like when you yawn. When you open your mouth, stretch your arms, and does that make you want to yawn? Does that make you yawn?
No.
Really? Are you sure? Okay, let's try again. No? Nothing? A little bit? Yawning is sometimes what we call a social thing. We'll read more about that later. But what it is socially, sometimes you'll notice that when one person yawns, another person around them might also yawn. And then you might see another person yawn. It's kind of like spreading a disease to others. One person has it, and then everybody has it. It's like, oh my God. But it's not really a kind of sickness. It's more socially. It's something people usually do. When you see another person yawn, sometimes it makes you yawn because you're trying to be nice to that person. Even though you don't realize it. You're yawning out of habit because it's something that your body says, oh, hey, let's do that. It's like, oh, let's do that together. We can all yawn, okay? So he doesn't feel like. So usually when people yawn, you say sorry, sorry. So that way, when everybody yawns, you don't have to say sorry. Then everybody's like, oh, we all did it, so it's okay. It's okay because everyone did it. That's a social thing. All right. So that is the experiment. If you get a chance when you are near your friends, try that. Don't tell them. Don't say anything to them. Just yawn or pretend to yawn. Do a fake yawn. And then watch your friends and see if your friends will yawn. See if they will do it. See, because I tell you, maybe you're not feeling it, so you're not going to yawn. Because it's just a test to make you yawn. So you're not going to yawn. Because I'm making you yawn. But if I didn't tell you and I just said, maybe you will yawn. It's kind of a reaction thing. When one person yawns, somebody else usually does too. All right. Species. This is going to be one of our words in our next reading here. What is a species?
A species is a group of animals that are similar and can have babies together.
Like these. What is this species?
Dog.
Yeah. Dog. Even though they have different kinds of dogs, all dogs are generally one species because they're all dogs. Even like wolves, dogs, or dog-related animals. A wolf and a dog can have babies together, right? And the same thing would be people.
No.
People. No? Really? A wolf and a dog cannot have babies? It's a baby wolf dog. I don't know. I would think so. Because they're all dogs. Yes. Some are just, a more wild version of it. That would be my thought anyways. Maybe. All right. So there is our species. How about this one here? Oh, I guess that's nothing on that one. Sure.
Now tell your friends not to yawn. Can they do it? Probably not. What does that prove? Scientists are trying to find out why yawning is so
contagious.
Contagious, and how to stop a yawn from spreading. Their research may give us information on how the brain works.
Let me go back on this one here. Oh, I see. Foolishness. All right. So when you first do it, you're not supposed to tell your friends anything. You just yawn and then see if your friends will yawn. And then you tell your friends, okay, now this time don't yawn. And then you pretend to yawn again, and you'll see if they can not yawn. Obviously, you're not yawning, so.
Oh.
I don't know. When I see them, see the pictures, even I see the pictures or talk about this reading, I always yawn. Oh, it makes me yawn every time. Every time. I don't know why. Especially you look at the man's face. Does that make you want to yawn? When you look really close. No? Nothing?
No.
Do you feel like you want to yawn?
No.
No? I don't know. It makes me feel like it. All right. Scientists are trying to are trying to find out why yawning is so contagious. What is contagious?
So.
Because here it starts out talking about when one person does it and then another person does it and then more people do it and then you have a lot of people doing it. That is something contagious. It's kind of like usually a disease is contagious. It's something that you can spread, or if you see others, or if others have it, then you have it or you do it. That's something contagious. It can spread to others. And yawning is considered contagious because usually if one person yawns, then several others may also yawn. Not you, but maybe others. So the scientists, what is a scientist?
People who who um, study
Mm-hmm.
study science.
Yeah, study science. That works.
Works.
Yeah, it works. They study science. A scientist's job is to try and experiment, try new things. They make medicine. They're always putting things together or testing something new to see what will happen. It happens with medicine, technology. I mean, there are so many different kinds of scientists that all do different things. But the biggest thing that makes you a scientist is, do you like to try something new? Yeah. Do you like to see what happens if I blah 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 blah? That's what a scientist's job is to always try something different and see what happens if you do this and this and this, or try to make something by using a special way. And they figure out, they learn things by testing, by trying. And that when they keep trying something over and over and over, this is a kind of research. A research is like study or learning about something. So here, I think here, well, it may teach us what research is a little bit later. So with this one, why does the author say that yawning is contagious?
People yawn after seeing others yawn.
People yawn after seeing others yawn. That would be the answer. Yeah. Pretty much. One person yawns, then another person yawns, another person yawns. Yep. It spreads to others. Contagious. How about this one?
Everybody yawns sometimes, and humans are not alone. Yawning is found in all kinds of animals, from fish to snakes to elephants.
Even animals yawn.
In fact, cat
Chimpanzees.
chimpanzees also yawn when they see other chimpanzees yawning. Yawns can even spread from one species to another. Try it with your
Remember that word that we learned before, the species.
species to another.
Yep.
Try it with your family dog.
What is, I guess that one brings us to the next question. What is a chimpanzee?
Chimpanzees
Mm-hmm.
is a
In fact,
animal.
Chimpanzee is an animal. Yeah, it is an animal. What kind of animal?
Like
Chimpanzee?
oh.
It's like a monkey. A kind of monkey. That one is our chimpanzee. So that's a chimpanzee, and chimpanzees scientists often test things on chimpanzees to see what will happen if they do it, if they use something on us. It's not really a good thing, because chimpanzees should be free. But they use chimpanzees because they're the closest animal relatives to humans. The chimpanzee would be the closest type of monkey. There's a lot of different monkeys out there, but the chimpanzee is the closest ones to us. Interspecies. See? Even if you yawn in front of your dog. Do you have a dog?
No.
Do you have a cat?
No.
Do you have a fish? Even fish. See? From fish to snakes to elephants. How about an elephant? Do you have an elephant? No elephant. Man. Next time you see an elephant, yawn in front of the elephant. See if you can make the elephant yawn. The elephant yawn. The elephant on. the elephant yawn. Yeah. Make the elephant yawn by pretending to yawn in front of the elephant. See if it works. Slow down. Please read carefully. All right. How about this one?
Uh, why why do we feel the need to yawn when we see others yawning? The answer may be that our brains are built that way. We all automatically
Mm-hmm.
copy people without even thinking about it. It's our way of being social or friendly.
Friendly, yeah. So for the question that's over here, it says which words from the passage help you figure out what automatically means. So from this reading here, this little paragraph, can you tell what automatically means?
Uh, always.
Always. We always copy people. You know, sometimes the meaning of a word will usually come after what we call a comma. So to have like a sentence here, and then if you see a new word in there, look for a comma, and then read what comes after that comma because it'll tell you what that new word probably means. So when you do something automatically, it's a way to. Usually you'll see it as an AUTO, like auto, doing something on auto without you having to do something. You don't have to do anything; it just does it by itself. So in this one, what helps us to learn this word here automatically is the part that comes after the comma, which would be this part here, without even thinking about it. So you don't have to think about yawning, you just yawn. It's an automatic response. Just like,
Uh,
what do you do if I take this pen and stab it in your hand? That's not very good.
um,
What would happen if I take the pen and put it in my hand? Would I have to go, ouch? Or
uh,
do I just go, ouch?
uh,
So you've got ding, A, ouch. Or B, oh.
uh, B.
B, yeah, probably B, and that's what we call an automatic response. It's something that your body just naturally does without you thinking about it. So if somebody was to go like this, Jesse, is Jesse gonna go, huh? Oh wait, there's a hand coming. Let me think. Let me think. Oh, I better move. There we go. Or your natural reaction when you see the hand, if you see it coming, you're gonna go, that's an automatic response, unless of course you've been trained, for fighting, and you go, go for some sort of fighting style, block, punch, kick. Block, punch, kick. That's something that usually you have to try. You have to do it over and over and over in order to train to train yourself to do that as an automatic response, because we want to to change how we think automatically. So most people usually, if they're gonna get hit, they're gonna go, "Oh no!" Now, usually people will go, "Ah," and they shrivel down, trying to block away from it. Just like if you put your hand near something that's hot, you quickly pull it away. You don't even have to look. You can just close your eyes, feel around. You touch something hot, your hand pulls away. Why? Because it's an automatic response. It feels something and you pull it back. That's dangerous. So you don't have to think about it. It happens. Your body says, nope, away. And that's the same thing with yawning. It's automatic. You don't have to think about it. It just happens. So, we've already answered this one, but we'll go over it anyways. Which of these highlighted sentences or phrases, which of these highlighted phrases helps to translate or helps us to understand the word automatically?
Without even thinking about it.
Yeah, very good. So something that is automatic is it just happens by itself. You don't think about it. You don't need to do anything. It happens. You can't stop it either. Well, you could. With practice, you could. Next one. Okay, how about this one?
Uh, when e-
Experts.
experts used to think that yawning mean your brain needed oxygen, but a group of scientists pro- proved this idea wrong.
Yeah. So experts, which are people who know a lot. Okay. So if you know a lot about something, then that would make you an expert. So there are some people who know a lot about the brain. They're considered experts because you ask them a question about the brain, they can give you the answer. They know the answer. They're very clever. They used to think that you yawn because your brain needs oxygen. What is oxygen?
Mm, Uh,
Air. Well, it's something in the air. This is
uh,
this is what your body needs in order for us to have life. We need air because oxygen is in the air, and that's what helps us to breathe, to live. We use the air. We get our oxygen from the air. But a group of scientists proved that this idea was wrong. So it's not. They thought that it was because your brain needs oxygen. So if you are not breathing well, then they think, well, you're going to yawn a lot. Or if you're in like maybe a high altitude place where the air is low, then maybe you won't breathe right. Maybe you'll yawn a lot. But there was a group of scientists that proved this wrong because they experimented it. They tested to see what will happen if your brain gets more oxygen, the same amount of oxygen, or less oxygen. Like this one here. Ding, 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 ding.
they
Test.
tested
Mm-hmm.
the theory by having people breathe in different amounts of oxygen.
Gen.
Oxygen. Scientists thought people given more oxygen would yawn a fewer number of times.
Mm. So they put this little mask on your face. And some of them, they give them, they turn the oxygen up really high. Ooh, I'm breathing a lot of oxygen. Yes. And then they'd put someone else in another mask, and theirs would go just a little bit, giving them just like the normal amount of oxygen. And then they'd put someone in with just a little bit of oxygen. Obviously, you need some oxygen in order to live. So, they can't do with no oxygen. Then they'd be that would not end as a good result. So they tested the theory. The theory is like an idea, and the idea was people yawn because your brain needs oxygen. All right, let's test that theory. Let's test that idea. Let's try it and see what happens. See if it's right. So we'll give one person a lot of oxygen. We'll give one person the normal amount of oxygen, which is not a lot, but not a little, in the middle. And then we'll give one person a little bit of oxygen. And we'll see which one yawns more or which one yawns less. Now, according to the experts say that you yawn more if you need oxygen. So the person with a lot of oxygen shouldn't yawn. He should not yawn because he has a lot of oxygen. And when he's breathing it in, he should get lots of oxygen going into his brain. And then the person with just a little bit of oxygen should yawn all the time. Is that going to be true? Obviously not, because here, this sentence here, but a group of scientists proved this idea wrong. So we know that it's wrong. So they tested it, and the result of the test is going to show that that's wrong. Because why?
Uh, but, um, but the rate of yawning stayed the same for everybody.
So what is the rate of yawning? Wait. Oh, we'll do theory. We'll come back to rate in a minute. Which word of the passage helps you figure out what theory means? Not brain. There's another
Uh,
word in here that can help to, like a synonym of theory.
test the um
That one would be. Oh, here's a couple. Here's a couple choices.
um idea.
Idea? Yeah. It's an idea. Remember, a theory is just an idea. Unless you prove it wrong or right, then it's still just a theory. It's just what somebody thinks. Maybe. Maybe. I think it's because blah, 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 blah. What does the word rate mean in the underlined sentence? But the rate of yawning stayed the same for everybody.
Um,
That person yawned 5 times, that person yawned 5 times, and that person over there also yawned 5 times.
the number of times sometimes happen.
Some.
Uh,
That's the right answer, but sometimes happen?
or something.
Yeah.
Of times something.
The number of times something happens. So when you do something for like 3 times, then another person do something for 5 times or 7 times. When you're doing it, when the rate stays the same, that means they all three of the tests or all of the tests that they did, they were all still the same. Even though some people had more oxygen, some people had less oxygen, they still all yawned the same number of times. Nobody yawned more because they had more or less oxygen. What is oxygen? There it is. Comes up late, but it's there.
Oxygen is a gas that is in the air. Animals and plants need oxygen to live.
Yes, need oxygen. Or people. People also need oxygen. Every living thing needs oxygen in order to live, which is actually something that plants help to make. Plants need it and they make it. Next, new experiments.
New experiments show that yawning cools off your brain. Your brain can overheat after a busy day of thinking and telling your body what to do. Yawning when you are sleepy may really be a way of bringing down your brain's temperature.
New experiments show that yawning cools off your brain. Your brain can overheat after a busy day of thinking. Overheat when it gets too hot. So when we yawn, it's a way of, notice that when you yawn, the air that you blow out is always hot. It's hot. Because when the air goes in and then it comes out, the hot air comes out. Cool air goes in, hot air comes out. So people usually yawn when when they think too much. Think, and you see some people it just means that your brain is getting too hot. Now, in this case, people usually yawn as a way to try and cool their brain down. It's to release that heat. Alligators kind of do something similar. The alligator, sometimes you'll see the alligator when they get too hot, they'll go onto the land and open their mouth. They want the food to go in now. They actually open their mouth because they're letting the heat go out. When the alligator feels very hot, all that hot air goes out and it helps them to cool down, brings their body temperature down so that they can be cool. It's kind of similar for us. This is also the reason you see dogs going, they get overheated, they get too hot. For us, we might do the same thing. People might also do something when they get too hot. But this is for when your brain gets too hot. Your brain, because you're thinking, think. And when you think too much, it might cause you to yawn a lot. You think you're tired, but really your brain is getting too hot. How do we stop that? Don't think. That's a bad idea. We have to think. We are people. People think. That's it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to think anymore. I'm done. No more thinking. Bye, brain. This is so fun, not having to think about anything. Just see, it's still thinking. Stop it. Stop. Stop. Don't think. Stop. Get cool. But there is actually another way. There's something else that helps you to cool off your brain other than yawning. Yawning kind of helps a little bit, but there's a certain kind of person that tends to yawn more than other people. Why? Let me tell you. Bloop.
Cooling.
Yeah.
Cooling of the brain may help to stop people from yawning. In one experiment, scientists put hot picks on the
Forehead. This is here. Forehead. This is your head. This is your forehead. Forehead. Because you got four heads? 1, 2, 3, 4? No. They just call that the forehead.
Heads of one group of people and could packs on another group.
Yeah. They had one group of people, many people over here, and they give them all hot pack. What you do is you open it up, take the hot pack, peel it, stick it on your forehead. Right there. Not here. Right there. That's your forehead. This is also where we check to see some people generally, if they're going to check your temperature to see if you're sick, they'll check your forehead. So they gave hot packs to one group of people, let them put the hot pack on there, and to another group of people, they gave them cold packs. Cold pack for you, cold pack for you, cold pack for you. These ones, China has these because we use them. I used them while I was visiting. But they're usually used on those if you get a fever or if you get too hot. They'll put the cold pack on there, and that's to try and help to protect the brain, right? Because it cools down the brain.
Yeah.
In this case, they're not putting it on sick people. They're just trying to make the brain cooler to see if those people will yawn less. And did they?
The people with the cold packs yawn less. The scientists also compared breathing only through the nose, which also cools the brain, with breathing only through the mouth, which does not.
So they did the cold pack test and the hot pack. Cold pack, hot pack. Now that worked. The cold pack people yawned less. The hot pack people yawned more. They also did another test with nose breathers. So you close your mouth. And you only breathe through your nose. And then they had what we call mouth breathers. Mouth breathers are those people who are always they're breathing through their mouth all the time. So are you a nose breather or a mouth breather? Nose breather? Mouth breather. Hi. Nose breather? Yeah.
Sometimes a mouth.
Sometimes a mouth breather. Yeah, I guess it depends. If you are a little bit sick, my nose is not working so well, you might have to breathe through your mouth. But it's actually, is it better to be a nose breather or a mouth breather?
Nose.
Why? Here on this sentence.
Which also.
There you go.
Cools the brain.
Scientists also compared breathing only through the nose, which also cools the brain. So being a nose breather is generally better because breathing through your nose helps to cool off your brain. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Ever heard that one? In, where the air goes in, the cool air from outside, the cool air goes in and goes to your brain. And then you blow it out and the hot air comes out. Cool air goes in through your nose, hot air comes out through your mouth. But if you're only going to choose one, just use your nose, not your mouth. Hi. Mouth breathers are so weird. All right. Then we have this one here. Nose breathers.
Nose breathers never yawn. What happens when you try it?
Yeah. So if you feel that you're yawning a lot, try to close your mouth and breathe through your nose. And that helps to cool off your brain, which should stop the yawning. Hopefully. That's the idea of it anyways. Of course, it may take some time for your brain to actually cool off. Nose breathers never yawned. Interesting. This is also why if you're one of those people that like to talk a lot, you may feel that you have to yawn all the time. So talkers generally yawn a lot. Why? Because when you're talking, you're breathing through your mouth. You can't talk blah 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 and breathe through your nose at the same time. So talking is kind of a way of mouth breathing. You're blowing the air out and in and out and in and out, and you're not even thinking about use your nose, close your mouth, close your mouth. So those people who talkers generally find themselves yawning often. And then we have this one here. Read the context clues, which are experiment, overheat, busy, and body. Which word from the passage do the clues help you understand? Yawning cools off your brain, bringing down your brain's temperature. Is that an experiment? Is that overheat? Is that busy or body?
Overheat.
Overheat? Is that so? Yeah. Yawning cools off your brain, bringing down your brain's temperature because your brain overheats. It gets too hot. When something gets too hot, that's called overheating. What is react?
React means to behave in a certain way, a certain way because of something.
And I got that ER family. It's on YouTube. The ER makes the sound. React means to behave or act a certain way because of something. We kind of went over this with the automatic reactions. This is something that you do quickly because of something else. Whether you're thinking about it or not thinking about it, if somebody says something, you go, that's a reaction. It's your first thought, or the first thing that you do. Some people try not to react, like this one. Watch. Jesse, you are a boy. Very good. Yeah. That is no reaction.
Oh.
When you show no reaction, it means to show no response or showing no answer. In this one we have, so that's a kind of reaction. It's your first response or the first thing that you say or do because of something else. So if somebody says something bad to you, what do you say? What do you do? If you do nothing, then you don't react. If somebody says, I don't like you, Jesse, what does Jesse say? What? Why? That's your reaction. Why? That is your reaction. All right. So where is that word? Oh, it's right there. It may seem silly.
It may seem silly to study sometimes something as harmless and as yawning, but knowing why our brains react a certain way could help scientists find cures for serious illnesses like
Epilepsy.
Epilepsy is an illness of the brain that causes a person's body to shake involuntarily. It's good to know that scientists continue to search for a way to stop yawns. One day, one of them might discover the secret.
Hmm. Can you think of a time where we got voluntarily and involuntarily? Voluntarily means something that you try to do, and then you have involuntarily means something that you're not trying to do. And in this case, they they talked about epilepsy, which is a kind of sickness or illness, where some people's body, their arms, legs, all of their body might shake involuntarily. Now I'm shaking it voluntarily because I'm trying to. I want it to shake. But some people they don't try to shake their hands or shake their body. You ever see? Usually this is something that happens in like older people where they're very shaky. Here's your dollar, you know. And this is usually from epilepsy, and they're trying to discover why the brain causes this. You know, this is a kind of disease from the brain that forces their bodies to shake involuntarily. Can you think of a time when you would shake involuntarily? Hmm.
Uh,
Do you ever shake involuntarily without trying to? It doesn't mean you have epilepsy, but it could mean something else.
mm,
Why would you
no.
do that? What?
Huh?
Why would you shake?
When I be nervous.
Yeah. Nervous, cold, scared. All of these kind of feelings can cause people to shake involuntarily, even if you try to control it or try to stop it. You still find yourself nervous or shaking. Now your body shakes when you're cold. Your body usually shakes as a way of trying to get it moving. Move faster, move faster, move faster. Because when you move faster, you get hot, you get warmer. So when you're cold, you got to move around, and that helps you to get hot. That's why they tell you if you get too cold, try to run or do exercise. Do something that would make you feel hot. So try to heat up your body, and that's why your body shakes, because you get too cold, and it's trying to move to get hotter or get warmer. But this is, of course, epilepsy, which is something that happens in some people. It's just something they can't control, and it's not something that goes away. It comes, and it's a pretty serious thing. So they are trying to learn about all the things with the brain. So if they can learn something like yawning, why we yawn, then that may be related. It may have something to do eventually with like what causes epilepsy or what causes some other kind of sickness with the brain. So if you can learn about this, then maybe you can also learn about that. Yawning is not important, but it's part of the brain. So if you can understand why we yawn, why the brain tells us, hey, yawn. And so you go, okay. If you can understand why, then you might also understand why epilepsy or why something else. All right. What's that next part? Did we do that one? It's good to know.
Oh. Mm,
Did you read the third paragraph, the little one?
yes.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. It's good to know that scientists continue to search for a way to stop yawns. One day, one of them might discover the secret. What is the secret? Let me go over this one. Oh, we didn't really do that one. Oh man, they were kind of covered up there. Look at that. I gotta plan for that better. All right. So next page goes into involuntarily. Oh, then we have this part here. Let's move this over.
And that person will become the hero of every kid who has held back a yawn while listening to a grown-up tell a boring story.
Boring. Yeah. Sometimes grown-ups. What's a grown-up?
Uh, Elder
Yeah,
people.
elder, or another word for an adult. Somebody who is over 18. When you get over 18, you become an adult, and that makes you a grown up. You're no longer a child. When you are not a child, then you're a grown up. See? What happens when the father tells a story? When I was your age, I walked to school for 3 miles. and the boy, oh my god. So sometimes these boring stories, they make us yawn. So here we go. According to the passage, what could scientists learn about from studying yawns?
Cures for serious illnesses.
What could scientists? Yeah. Ding. And that's what they could learn. They could learn cures for serious illnesses. Something that is serious is like really bad or really, really big. And they're always trying to find a cure for these illnesses. They want to know ways to fix them. So let's see. That's all we had for our yawn. Yawn. That was our yawn talk, and it's important to know. Remember, try this. Try and experiment it with your friends, or even with an animal. If you come around a dog, a cat, yawn in front of the dog. Pretend to yawn. Pretend to yawn in front of the dog or cat, and see what happens. Can you make the dog yawn? Can you make the cat yawn?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I see you. Can you see me?
No.
What? Where did Jesse go?
Uh,
Well, that was weird. I kind of froze for a minute there. Can you see me now? You're frozen. Mm-hmm. That's all we had for that one. See ya.